Hi everyone, and welcome back to Blueprint DIY, where we remake our clothes to be just as unique as us. Today I am back with yet another sewing machine review. And you may say, hey, the title says you're reviewing 3 sewing machines. I am. I have these 2 right here and the other one just to give us a little bit more space. But today I am going to be reviewing 3 sewing machines that you'll want to have if you want to buy a beginner sewing machine that will last. First off, we are going to be talking about the BabyLock Joy, and then we're also going to be talking about the Bernette Academy 05 machine, as well as the Husqvarna Viking 118. And I can already tell you that these are 3 impressive sewing machines. They're a little bit on a higher price end, but we'll get into all of that, as well as sewing tests. We're going to do a range of fabrics from thin like lining fabric all the way up through denim and leather, as well as telling you at the end who I think these sewing machines are for. So let's get started. All right, so let's talk about the BabyLock Joy first. This sewing machine is pretty small, so if you're looking for something lightweight and compact, this is definitely something for you. Not too heavy, although it is very well constructed. So it's going to be heavier than a toy sewing machine, but it's going to have some of those very beginner functions like some of the less expensive sewing machines. So on the front here, you can see that it has several, I think it's like 14 stitches, and it does have a 4-step buttonhole. 4-step buttonhole is simply a buttonhole where each of the 4 sides of the buttonhole is a different step. It's a different stitch. With a 1-step buttonhole, you just sew the whole buttonhole with 1 stitch. It does everything for you. So you can see how that would be a lot easier. But you can adjust the stitches here down to the buttonhole and all of the stitches. And then if you want to change that stitch to one of the pink stitches, you do this SS and then pick that letter. And this is the stitch length and this is the stitch width. So just like a standard sewing machine, it does have the back stitch right there. You can lower your feed dog to do quilting and different things like that. But other than that, it's going to thread just like a regular sewing machine. It does have the top loading bobbin. So you can see, 1, so that you can see how much bobbin thread you have left. And 2, I have heard that keeps your sewing machine from jamming. That keeps your sewing machine, your thread, from jamming a lot. And you're going to see how nice the stitches are with this one in a minute. It does come with the following accessories. And next up, we're going to talk to my past self when we talked about the Bernette 05 Academy. You guys do not know how long I've been waiting to get my hands on this, and I finally have it in my hands. This is the Bernette B05 Academy sewing machine. And so this sewing machine was made to endure the tests and trials of a beginner trying to learn over years, because it was meant to go in a sewing school, sewing academy. I'm going to put the links to everything in the description box. And if you do want 5% off this, I do have a coupon code for that in the description box as well. So right off the bat, this sewing machine is relatively light. So if you're looking for something that is a smaller body, lighter weight, but does have options like an extendable table, then this is for you. Once again, I personally think that this sewing machine is gorgeous. I love just the very kind of stripped back design of Bernette sewing machines. That's personally just my preference, I know. On the side of the sewing machine, you can see the power button, but this one is unique. I've never seen this before on a sewing machine. It has 1 line on one side as if you want to sew like a turtle. It has a little turtle symbol. So that means that the sewing machine is going to sew slower. And then the 2 lines is if you want to sew fast. And that one has the hare, the tortoise and the hare. And that one is if you want to sew fast. So I thought that was really cute. It does have 30 stitches, which is really great. And it does have a 1-step buttonhole. Right here is where you would change your stitch length. Above here is your stitch width or your zigzag stitch, like how far your zigzags are going to go apart. And then this one is needle position. Not all sewing machines, you can change the needle position. And you can see this super long table. I love how the table curves like this. It just feels like it can glide the fabric on along, keep everything moving. When it has a super straight table, it's like you're lifting up. And so I kind of like that design. And then you have this piece when you're not using the table that does open up, and you can keep your accessories right there. In addition to all of that, it does come with the following accessories. On the back, you will see a button that allows you to raise and lower the feed dogs, where you can do quilting, like free quilting. And then you can also remove this, and then you get your free arm where you can, and it's a full free arm all the way to over here. I really like that. It also has a guard, which is really great for beginners, especially kids, so that you don't get your finger close to the needle. It does have an extra lift, which a lot of sewing machines are starting to come with that these days. And then I love the feel. It has like a rubber grip on the knobs, and it feels really, really good. All right, so here we have the Husqvarna Viking 118. I really like this machine. It's very solid. If you are buying a sewing machine and you want it to last, then this is something that you should consider. This has about 14 stitches as well. It does have a one-step buttonhole, so you definitely want that. All of these sewing machines nowadays, they do have the extra lift on the foot, so you can get more fabric underneath. You can actually get quite a bit of fabric underneath this one, on this one as well. And I'll show you that in a second when we do our denim test. But this one has a lot of the same features. Those stitches, you have your stitch control right here, stitch length here. This dial up here controls the stitch width. You can move this out of the way, put your accessories in there. This one does have a knob in the back, just like this one, where you can lower the feed dog so that you can do some free sewing. On the front here, it has a list of the stitches and what type of foot that you can use it with. This one did come with quite a few feet. So if you're really interested in learning which stitches to use which feet, then that's definitely for you. I love that it did come with a Teflon foot. A lot of sewing machines are starting to come with that. And that I like for leather and like sticky plastic fabric, things like that. This one did come with a hard case. It's one of the only sewing machines ever bought that came with a hard case included. And so I thought that that was really, really nice. And then the foot is very interesting. I've never seen a foot like this. Look at the side profile of that. And so it, works just like any other foot pedal, but I just thought that that was really interesting. It does have this little like rubber that's gonna keep it from sliding as much, and it does help.
And I forgot to record that this is one of the only mechanical sewing machines that not only has speed control, but it also has an automatic needle up and needle down, and that is huge for me. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I've been looking for this for years on a mechanical machine, and here you have it.
All right, are you guys ready to test some materials? So I have 4 different materials, and you guys know I am infamous for doing denim tests. I love doing denim tests. But we're gonna start off. You guys have requested that I do like silk or satin. This is like a very, very lightweight lining material. We're gonna work on that. Some dress shirt material, some denim, and we're going to do some leather. I use the lining fabric just to purely see how the stitches are. Does it sew on very thin fabrics? And I'm very pleased to show you that the BabyLock Joy does the trick. And with the yellow thread, you can see the Bernette does as well. All of these sewing machines, I was very impressed with the stitch quality. Like straight out of the box, I really enjoy the quality of the stitches, and that actually kind of does make a big difference between these, which are more, slightly more expensive, to the cheaper machines that I review sometimes. And then the Viking as well. And you can also hear how they sound. Very, very clean stitches. All right, so next up, let's talk about the men's dress shirt material. Once again, I feel like all of the sewing machines did a really, really good job on the extra stitches, but the winner to me as far as the extra stitches was the Bernette Academy. It was the one that made the stitches look the most like the picture, like what I feel like the stitch is supposed to look like. You can see here, I should have picked the same stitch for all of them, but for 2, I did pick the same stitch. For the BabyLock, I picked that same stitch, and I don't feel like it really looks like that, but it is a good quality stitch. And then I picked a different stitch for the Viking, and this one, I mean, it's a decent stitch. There's nothing to hate about it, nothing to super love about it. This one, as far as the choice of stitches, I don't feel like it gives you really decorative stitches, but I think I feel like it gives you more functional stitches, which I'm a more functional person. I don't particularly want decorative stitches, but if you want decorative stitches, I don't think that this one really has a lot of decorative stitches. All right, so next up we have the jersey material. For our jersey material, I did a zigzag stitch because zigzag stitches on stretchy material helps it to stay stretchy. So I thought that that would be the appropriate stitch for this. And once again, all three did a very good job of doing a zigzag stitch. They were super fast. This is the one for the BabyLock Joy. And then here in yellow, you can see the one I did for the Bernette Academy. I did a much tighter stitch for that one. And then once again for the Viking 118, very good stitch. All right, now on to everybody's favorite, and that is denim. Everybody loves when I sew denim on these tests because everybody wants to know how many layers does it sew. Here's my denim sewing test on the BabyLock Joy, and as you can see, the stitches are really clean and it sews 8 layers of denim. What can you say? That's really good, and the stitches look good. You know, some things can sew 8 layers, but they're not that great. Next, we have the Bernette Academy sewing machine. This one, it did give me a little bit of trouble when I got to the higher levels of denim, but as far as the stitches that it did sew very good stitches. And then next up, the Viking definitely did 8 without a problem. It could probably do more. They fit under the presser foot, so I would say that it would do 10 layers. And I'm not gonna say without any effort, but it definitely did these 8 without much effort at all. So, all right, so last up we have leather, and I don't know why, but I seem to have forgotten to sew the leather piece on the BabyLock Joy. But we'll talk about what I did do on the Bernette. Since it was giving me trouble with the denim, I didn't really want to push it with the leather, but it does go through 4 layers of leather very well, and the stitches look great. That's all that I asked. Like, it doesn't have to go through 50 million. Well, sometimes I do need a machine to go through a lot of layers, but these sewing machines for beginners don't need to go through 50 million layers. But are the layers that it does go through, are the stitches great? And these are great. This one went through 8 layers of leather. So because they went through a lot of layers of denim, I wasn't expecting really anything less. Normally, if they go through a bunch of layers of denim, they will also go through leather. You might want to use the Teflon foot. It'll help, but they did it with no effort. So I'm really pleased about that. So the last question is, who are these sewing machines for? And I think I really answered this question already, but I'll do it individually. The BabyLock Joy for me is going to be definitely for a person who just wants something that's going to last them for a long time. For occasional sewing, they just want to mend things. They want to hem pants. This is the perfect sewing machine for that. It's small, you can move it easy, and put it out of the way easy. So that's a great sewing machine for that. For the Bernette 05 Academy, I was thinking that that would be the perfect sewing machine for a person who they want to go on their sewing journey, but they think that they might want to pass that sewing machine down to someone else. They don't want a sewing machine that's going to end up being trash. And that is a concern. Like these sewing machines that we buy for under $100, the people at the service that service them tell everyone not to buy them because they do end up becoming kind of trash after a while. So if you're looking for something that will be able to be passed down or sold again later, then definitely something like that will be a good solution for you. And I would say the same thing for the Husqvarna, except for the Husqvarna is definitely a higher quality. It's definitely a higher quality machine. It's going to do more layers. It's going to last you. It's going to go with you longer on your journey. It can be serviced over and over and over again. And those sewing machines you don't even see for resale very often because people keep them for a very long time. So I hope that was helpful. Definitely let me know any questions you might have in the comments. I can get with Montevilla. Montevilla sent us these sewing machines, and I am so excited to share them with you guys. And I can get with them to answer any questions you might have. And I have a 5% off coupon for you guys for Montevilla for any sewing machine that you want on their site. They have a ton of sewing machines from A to Z. So definitely go check them out. And as always, I have a ton of other sewing machine reviews. We just reviewed some absolutely amazing higher level sewing machines, and we actually news, we bought those sewing machines. We could not. We could not part with those sewing machines. So we bought them and they're part of our family now. But if you want to check that video out, definitely check that out. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.